So after I figured out the meaning of life, my mind was a little bit more at peace. Now, there were still things that I had not settled yet, questions that hadn't been answered, but at least I had a direction, an idea of where to go. Now, I have had plenty of accomplishments in my life, many endeavors achieved, ways that I transformed myself, and many things learned. But in each of these endeavors, I always felt like I had betrayed myself by achieving the goal. Herein lies the first paradox. There was a voice or a general sense taunting me after every achievement, saying, "This only shows that you cannot live without it. This only shows how desperate you are. You are weak. You cannot live with failure. You are weak and you are always running away from failure. You are always running away from hell. And you always will. The fear of it will always consume you, and you will never be free." I could already imagine myself responding to it saying, what do I have to do? Do I just lie down and die? Do I just fail at everything in life just to make sure that I'm at peace with failure? But even if I did that, I could see the voice saying something like, "Ha ha ha, congratulations in facing your failure. You just couldn't resist, could you? You just had to prove yourself, didn't you? You just had to listen to me. Now, not only is your whole life a failure, but you just proved to yourself that you're still weak." And in the end, I felt like I had been duped. Like I promised a life fulfilled, but it was yet left meaningless. It was because of this pattern that I knew that no matter how much I accomplished, I would always feel, even after a brief honeymoon phase, I would always feel like I have this hole, like this yearning, this incompleteness, this meaninglessness tormenting me. I would always be running away. And this time in my life was no different. I had an endeavor that I desperately wanted, a new ambition that I was sure would bring me joy and improve my life and leave me fulfilled. But I was aware of this relentless pattern, and this time I decided that I would focus on facing this emptiness while I was chasing after my goal. This decision was the initial step toward what I started to develop as the practicality system. Now, my initial goal, to put it briefly, was to improve my social skills. Now, I'm not going to get into why I wanted that, where I was in my life, or to what purpose or extent, but that was the ambition that was burning inside me. This became goal A. Now, at the same time, I kept in my mind this relentless emptiness that I knew I would have even after completing that goal. And I had made the decision to face it, to face it and to take care of it once and for all. This became goal 1. And this became my priority above everything else. And I made the decision that no matter how bad I wanted goal A, I wasn't going to let it fool me again. I was going to use that desperation to help me address the emptiness that I knew I would have even after completing goal A. And this became my priority above everything else. And goal 1 became my priority above everything else, and goal 8 kind of sort of became like a bait goal so that I could use in accomplishing goal 1. Now, I could have accomplished goal A. I could have improved my social skills very quickly. But instead I decided to make goal 1, to make the analysis my priority. And thus, I needed to refrain from accomplishing goal A so I would have something to analyze. If I would have accomplished goal A, that means that I would have nothing to analyze and I would just have to wait for the next desperate endeavor in order to keep working on goal 1. Now the question is, why did this problem lead to a practicality system? Why a practicality system? Now you have to understand that in every endeavor that I always accomplished, there was a lot of questions that were left unanswered that kind of contributed to this feeling of emptiness that I was left with even after accomplishing the goal. Questions like, how did I even do this? How did I even accomplish it? Was I going to be able to do it again? Was it just luck? Or was it something that I was blessed with? Or was it something that I could actually follow through the process and do it again? Would I be able to achieve the goal with certain handicaps? Maybe I was blessed in life with having such different capabilities, and I would, like if I was anybody else, I wasn't going to be able to accomplish the goal. So achieving the goals didn't really give me the confidence. It didn't really make me feel comfortable in myself that I was going to. Didn't really make me feel that I could obtain anything that I wanted to obtain. Besides those questions, I also felt like I didn't feel right with the process of achieving goals, because in I felt like I was enslaved by a cycle of desire and attainment. And I just felt like I was going to be enslaved by that my whole life. Was there an end to this? Or so the final question was this something that I was always going to be enslaved with, or how can I be satisfied once and for all? What would I need to obtain? What would I need to figure out to be able to be free from this cycle? And so in my mind, I kind of had the aspiration to attain the goal of goals, or to figure out how to figure out stuff, so that any goal that I had, I would be able to obtain it, or any desire that I had, I would be so efficient in being able to satisfy it that I would no longer need to have it anymore. So anything that popped into my mind, I would just be like, I know how it's done, I know how to get it, I know what to do about it. I don't even need to do it because I already know everything. Now, from all these questions, from all these concerns, was born the philosophical practicality system. I set myself to figure out a way to accomplish all goals, to satisfy all desires, to figure out a way how to figure out stuff, and maybe even a way to break free from the cycle of desire and attainment. Again, as it was when I was trying to figure out the meaning of life, I wasn't even sure if this practicality system, discovering this, was even possible to obtain. If it really was impossible, I would only find that out if I gave it all I had, if I kept trying, and at the end of my life, if I still hadn't achieved what I wanted to achieve, only then would I be able to say, maybe it is possible to obtain, but at least I know that it was impossible for me.